Welcome everyone to today's episode of Many Words, One Root. Today's root word is SPECT, which means to look or to see. Comes in a small variety of forms from both Greek and Latin. Now, the magic of learning root words in English is that you will quickly be able to identify and create a whole host of related words without having to memorize each one. If you know the pieces, you can put them together. So we're going to look at a few sets of words with some example sentences and then a very quick little story to help you remember them. And I got just a touch of homework for you at the end to practice your new skills of building words with roots. So our first set of words here, spectacle, which is something that draws attention. Spectator is one who watches, like fans at a football game. And spectacular can be a verb or an adjective, which is an impressive display. So we have our picture here, these airplanes doing stunts. That's a spectacle. The people watching it are spectators. And you could describe it as spectacular. So our example sentences. He made a spectacle of himself by shouting at the referee. If you make a spectacle of yourself, it means everybody's going to be looking at you. I don't play sports. I'm just a spectator. It means you just like to watch. And the fireworks display was spectacular. So can we practice those words? Spectacle. Spectacle. Spectator. Spectator. And spectacular. Spectacular. A little bonus here. Spectacles is a funny word you can use to talk about somebody's glasses. Have you seen my spectacles? I can't find them anywhere. So we got a quick little story here. A day at the races. It was a fine day at the races. The spectators flooded in. It was set to be spectacular. Let the spectacle begin. All right. Can you tell me that story yourself? All right. So our next set, inspector. So this one you can see real quickly. If you know the roots, if you know spect means to look, and in is in. Even if you don't know the word, don't remember it, must be someone who's looking into things. So to inspect is to look closely into something. Inspector is someone who looks closely into things, someone who inspects. And then inspection is when you're being inspected. So real easy. If you just know spect, I'm sure you know the word in. You already have a pretty good idea of what these mean, and you'll be able to remember them and form them yourself. So an inspector is mostly a British word for detective. In America we say detective. There they call them inspectors. In America we say inspectors would be things like a home inspector or a health inspector. So here's some example sentences. I need to inspect your work for errors. Get ready, the inspector is coming. And we'll get shut down if we don't pass the health inspection. Let's practice that. Inspect. It's kind of tough at the end, that CT sound. Inspect. Inspector. You can say that with a hard OR or just kind of an ER sound. Inspector or inspector. And finally, inspection. Inspection. Kind of goes from a C sound to an SH sound there. Inspection. All right. Little story here. Tidy up. The inspector is a-comin', and he checks every crack. Very thorough. He'll inspect his own mother. There's no inspection he won't hack. So this guy's ruthless. He inspects everything. Alright, and this will be our last set of words. And then they'll be at the end for you to guess and check your own words that are formed with this SPECT. So, introspect. Once again, SPECT, in. Figure somebody's looking inward. So if you're introspective, you're really looking into yourself, thinking about things, reflecting on them. Circumspect, probably recognize like circle. Circumspect is when you're considering something from all sides. You're looking all the way around it. Going in a full circle, checking it out. And retrospect. Probably recognize retro, it's like older things. Retro means looking back. So if you're retrospective, you're looking back on things and considering them with the benefit of having already happened. So our example sentences. Being introspective is how you can learn about yourself. It's very important. Also use the word reflecting on yourself, but being introspective. This decision is critical. We must be circumspective to make sure we haven't missed anything. So that basically means being thorough, checking all your boxes, going over things again, circumspective. And in retrospect, I should have just stayed home. I'm sure we can all relate to that. So let's practice those words real quick. Introspect. Introspect. Circumspect. It kind of flows quickly through the middle part of that word. Circumspect. And retrospect. Retrospect. Get the feel of the cadence, the rhythm of these words. Introspect, circumspect, retrospect. All right. Something to help you remember here. The introspective young lady may see herself well, but the circumspective young fellow will see around it all. He's pretty circumspect with that young woman there, isn't he? Looking all around her. In retrospect, however, wandering eyes did make him fall. So, we got to be careful. Alright, so using your newly acquired knowledge of SPECT, can you guess what these words mean? So go ahead, you can pause this here. You can make a guess at what each word means and then look it up in a dictionary and see how you do. So that's it for today's episode of Many Words, One Root, where you unlock the power of the building blocks of the English language. With a few simple root words, you can learn a whole bunch of words without really even having to learn each one in particular. So thank you for joining me, your host, Jeffrey, with a G, on Learning English with Jeffrey. May your journey go well. See you next time.